Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is a love reading for the sign of Gemini, and it's going to take the next 4 to 6 weeks and will cover the whole of the festive period and all of the holidays. So let's see what we've got. At the bottom of the deck we have got, well, this is nice, 3 of Cups. This is the card of happiness, joy and happiness actually, but the card underneath it wants to come too. And so we've got the 3 of Cups and the Hanged Man. 3 of Cups is happiness. Hanged Man is sort of on pause, gaining enlightenment, I suppose. So maybe you're trying to work out what's making you happy, or trying to work out what will make you happy. Or you're happy and you're wondering what's the next thing, possibly. Not too sure about that. Let's take a... The Hanged Man is upside down, but only in order to give himself a different perspective. So I think you're assessing what makes you happy, I think. And now we also have the 4 of Pentacles, which is the card of clinging on to something too tightly. Things that no longer serve you. So perhaps it's time to sort of have a clear out of old ideas and old thoughts, even old friendships. Anything that's no longer working for you. It feels to me like you're considering what is good for you and what is not good for you. What you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. And it feels like you're sort of clearing out, really. If I want to say clearing your mind, actually. I think perhaps maybe you've had some negative thoughts that haven't been serving you very well lately. Or negative thoughts that are stopping you from being happy. Or you're consciously trying to get rid of negative thoughts in order to be happy. It feels like that. The 4 of Pentacles is also the minor arcana of pride. So maybe you've been sort of stubbornly sticking to a way of life, or a way of working, or a way of living that doesn't actually work for you anymore, or isn't making you happy anymore. It's that sort of feeling. There's a sort of resistance, a stubborn sort of determination to keep doing things the way you've been doing it, but there is a part of you that knows it's time to make a change. You are gaining enlightenment into the fact that you can actually be happier, either living without these things, people, or outmoded ideas of operating or living, and you will be happier that way. I think so. That's interesting. A new way of thinking for you, Gemini. And of course, you are an air sign, so you are prone to lots of thinking. Well, that's really good. That's a good place to start. It feels like you're squashing, you're getting rid of some old patterns. Yeah, really good. Okay, at the centre of the reading, we have the world. Now, this can be literal travel to another part of the world. I often feel it's the end of a phase. It's a completion. It feels like you have completed something. Maybe you've been working on yourself and you've been trying to lift your spirits and be more positive. Or maybe you've grown up. Perhaps you haven't felt very responsible before, and maybe that's changing. Or maybe it's the reverse of that. Maybe you felt too responsible for everything and everyone, and that's changing. It's the change. You're having a change of, well, actually, I was going to say phase. But I really, in the end, I want to say a change of life is what it feels like. That you're changing your life for the better. What's lovely about the World card is it's a very neat and tidy change. So there aren't any loose ends to deal with. There aren't any people who don't agree in the background. There's nothing like that. This should be a nice, easy transition. Now, I'm saying it should be, because it normally would be. But what is crossing that is something that is quite traditional. Quite serious. It could be a marriage that's holding you in position so that you're not quite able to get into this new phase. Or this sort of is the establishment one, really. So you're sort of, it's an established way of living, working, thinking that is stopping you from starting a new phase. That's what it feels like. Feels like you've got a better phase just around the corner that you're not quite, you've glimpsed it. You've glimpsed it and you know you can be happier, but you're not quite in it, and it's something to do with an established routine or system or something like that, or relationship. Oh, heck, sorry. Right, well, that's a bit of a mess. Let's just pick those up. 2 cards fell out of that heap there. I apologise. And we have the 5 of Wands, which is other people getting in the way, causing problems. And we also have the 9 of Wands, which is the wounded warrior, feeling like you've come to the end of the road with something. Maybe you're low on compassion. Maybe your tolerance for other people and their input is low. Perhaps you can't cope with other people at the moment. Maybe it's a family situation that you're fed up with. You're definitely fed up with something, and it's got other people involved in it. But this is a love reading after all, so perhaps you're ready to go on a new adventure with your partner, and you can't go and do it because there are too many people in the way, slowing you down, stopping you, people with opinions. Perhaps you've got your children still need you, or you've got aging parents that need you, or I don't know, so something like that. The established way of living is slowing you down from the love life that you want currently. But as I said before, you've glimpsed it. So there is hope here. You know you can be happier. It's just a case of dealing with the current situation first. That's what it feels like. This feels like there's the centre of the problem needs to be dealt with first before you can get into this lovely, happy, light, free energy. On the face of things, we have the Knight of Wands. This is the knight who's around for a good time, not a long time really. So if you're single, maybe there's somebody who you've just started seeing. If that's the case, then it could be that, I'm thinking about it. It could be that the person you've just started seeing is married to somebody else, so they're not quite free yet. That's one possibility. Or that they've got other people to consider. Yeah, that's what that feels like. And so on the face of things, I think you might have met somebody quite exciting. Potentially, it looks like. But there's some sort of limitation with them. And let's get a clarifier for that Knight of Wands. Wow, that's an interesting combination. The Knight of Wands would be a younger man. He would be a fire sign. The King of Swords would be an older man, and he would be an air sign. So, well, you really. So maybe this is talking about actually your approach has not been correct. Perhaps your approach has all been a bit too hasty and maybe not decisive enough. And now really you're ready to do some more decisive thinking in order to bring about the happiness that you want. Perhaps that you were just going at things in a too light-hearted a way before. Maybe. That's not that clear to me, to be honest. It could be that you've got 2 different options on the go. And that is what is slowing you down, because you're struggling to work out which is the better option. You've got an established masculine here who could be a lawyer, could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You've got a younger masculine here, and he would be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Both fire and air would be good for you. Maybe that's what you're struggling with, trying to work out which way to go. Could it be that you've got so many options, you don't know where to go? I mean, I suppose that's possible. It's not my experience of dating, but I suppose it's possible. Or potentially maybe one of them lives on the other side of the world and you're trying to work out how to get there. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully it'll become a little bit clearer as we go on. What's underneath or underpinning the situation that you can't see or you're not aware of is you've got an element of stress here. Now don't forget, we've already talked about the 9 of Wands feeling like you can't go on with something and you're highly stressed. 9s are negative cards, but they're coming to the end. 10s are completion. 9s are the hard bit before the end, if you like. Now what's clarifying that? We have the 10 of Pentacles. So it could be that one of these masculines comes with plenty of money and can offer you the sort of life you want, because this is a fabulous card of getting everything you want. The other card came with it clarifies the moon, and the moon is not clear. It's not easy to see, and that's just what I was saying really. It feels to me like you might have options here and you're not sure which option is going to be best. Well, the moon is also a timing card, so in the next 4 weeks, and this is, for the next sort of 6 weeks, But the next month might be quite important. I feel like I've said that a lot in readings recently. The month of December, I think, is going to be important for lots of people. You've got a lot of options here and you're struggling to decide which one is going to make you happy. That's potentially one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is that there's somebody who lives far away from you that you think has potential to make you happy, but you're not quite sure about taking that particular leap of faith. And that is causing some sort of stress and upset. There's something like that. There are possibly more scenarios here. Hopefully the whole story will come a little bit clearer as we carry on. In the past, we have the Queen of Cups. This is the most loving energy. Now, why have we got the Queen of Cups in the past position? Well, that's the Wheel of Fortune, which you want to find in the future position, really. Wheel of Fortune is good energy that is coming your way, or good energy that has been with you in the past. Maybe you were in a loving connection in the past and everything was great, and then something happened. Maybe that person had to move on. Perhaps they had to go back to where they came from in the world. Something like that. It feels like this person, if you were in a loving relationship in the past, it feels like that person had to move on to something else. Oh gosh, I feel a bit like I've got a chill now. I feel like some of you might have actually been permanently left, as in your partner might have died. Feels a bit like that. I think if you've been in a loving relationship in the past, that person has had to move on to something that was better for them. They were sort of made to go almost. It feels like that. The Wheel of Fortune is an interesting card. It's also a new phase. But there isn't really anything you can do about it. It's going to keep rolling on. It's another card I've been getting an awful lot of recently, is the Wheel of Fortune. For you, it's in the past position. What I would normally say is that the Wheel of Fortune will keep on rolling until it reaches its destination. And I don't think it has reached its destination yet, because if it had, you wouldn't be in this wounded warrior energy. So I think it's sort of interlinked with the World card here. And it's saying that you're still waiting for your new phase to start. So if you put these two cards together, they're extraordinarily powerful. I mean, these are new phases, new beginnings, but with a really positive energy. We don't have anything negative here at all. So this phase, it might have started in the past. You might have been in a loving relationship, but the Wheel of Fortune that was going to move your life forward after that relationship is still working for you. You haven't reached your destination yet. You haven't. And that is why you're in this energy of feeling like you've had enough. These cards are moving on. I'm going to sit them like that. This is sort of fluid motion, if you like. In the future position, we have Justice. So it could be that you've had to come out of a legal separation or a divorce. I mean, I suppose that could be why you were in a loving relationship in the past, perhaps. Could be divorce. Let's get a clarifier for Justice. You could be dealing with a Libra. If so, that would be great for you. Light and airy energy. Oh, two cards wanted to come here. And we have the King of Cups and the High Priestess. Clarify Justice. Right, interesting. High Priestess is just a card of innate knowing. It's intuition. It's knowing things. Seeing the future almost. Clairvoyance. Spirituality. I'm just going to put the King of Cups down for a minute because I want to look at Justice and the High Priestess here. They are looking very similar. Yeah, they're really looking very similar. Maybe you're going to meet somebody very similar to you in the future. Particularly if it's a same-sex relationship, you could meet somebody very similar to you. It could be that you thought you had met that person, but they weren't clear on their feelings. Yeah, that's another possibility, because the King of Cups doesn't really know how he feels, and he is in the future position to clarify Justice. I mean, those two, they really look the same to me. There's some sort of familiarity here in the future. So actually, if you were in a loving relationship in the past and that person is still around, it could be that it's coming back. It sort of feels like that. That's the King and Queen of Cups. It feels a bit like If one party left the relationship, possibly thinking the grass was greener or not really knowing how they felt, I think there has been a change. I think they do know how they feel now, and there's a fairly good chance that they might be trying to come back, because this is a king-queen pairing and we've got justice here. Now that could indicate something to do with law, but also we've got another pairing here. It's really interesting. That wasn't at all what I was expecting to come up. It feels to me like there's partnership. You've been in partnership, or you've been in something that had great potential for partnership, or you've got your eye on somebody for partnership. That's what it feels like. And the Wheel of Fortune so far has not brought you together or not kept you together. In fact, it may have separated you temporarily. But if that's the case, I think these two cards together are telling us that something is either coming back around, or something is coming good, or something better is arriving. It's something like that. You're really good. In the personal position, we have the Twin Flame card, or it could just be the card of a strong soulmate in celebrating something. It could be a wedding or some sort of party. Marriage. I want to say it could be a marriage. So in a personal way, yeah, well, so maybe this was a twin flame in separation situation that's coming back together. Something is coming back together for you, Gemini. Now, it's either that you're coming back into a partnership and you've been out of partnership for a long time, or you're coming back into a particular partnership with a person you were in partnership with before. But either way, it's sort of destined, and it's good. It's really good for you. Don't forget, at the start, we're seeking happiness, and this is going to give it to you. This is good, really, really good. I mean, actually, now we've got the High Priestess and the Hanged Man. It could be that you've come out of a partnership and it had great potential and it broke up. You might know that it's coming back. You might have had an inkling about that. You might have dreamt about that. Because this card is, sometimes this is the card of dreaming. And I think for sure it is, particularly when it's paired up with the moon. So you might have dreamt about this happy ever after. That's what it feels like. You've got all the cards of happy ever after, actually. I'm going straight to the outcome now. These three cards, you've got three cards of happy ever after. One of which is in the outcome and one of which is in the hidden position with the Nine of Swords and the moon. And I think you've dreamt this. I think you or seen the future somehow and know about this happening. Maybe not in a conscious way because it's in the hidden position. So this possibly is unconscious, but I think you might get a hint of it and then it'll just feel so right. It's going to feel so right. And particularly with the Ten of Swords in the home position, you've had enough. You've reached the end with something. We've already talked about this. The 9 moves to the 10. This is really good. In tarot card reading, if you've got a progression through the numbers, that is great news. It means that you're doing the work and you're moving things forward. Whatever the situation is at home that's left you feel wounded and defeated, it's ended. This is another ending. So something major here has ended. It could be, like we were saying before, just your particular mindset and that you've changed your way of thinking. Actually, let's get it clarified. Why do we have the Ten of Swords in the home position? Well, your wishes have come true. Something's ended and it's what you wanted. Yeah, well, great. Something's ended and you wanted it to happen. And it has happened. Or it is happening. In the hopes and fears position, we have the Two of Wands. This is the card of adventure and possibilities and looking out in the world to see what's available. And here I'm drawn back to the Knight of Wands. These two energies are very similar. You know, what's out there? Let's go and have a look. Let's see what we can find. So if you're hoping for an adventurous, it's also here because it's a 2. It's partnership. If you're hoping for some sort of adventurous partnership, you're going to get it. And there doesn't appear to be any fear here. In the outcome, we have the 10 of Cups. Well, this is a card of getting everything you want. You're already knowing you're going to get everything you want. And you are getting everything you want. And what's clarifying it is the Sun, which is the best card in the deck. This is getting all of your dreams to come true and have everything that you want in life. But also what's come with it is the Devil. So we need to just, I mean, these two together are wonderful. The Devil, not so much. So let's just unpick this situation for the outcome. The outcome is the 10 of Cups. That means, oh, it could be the 10th month. So October might have been very important for you. Could be that something happened in October. Maybe that's when you started spotting that you could have a better life, potentially. Maybe you decided you needed to rid yourself of something in October. It could be that. That's one way of looking at it. The Devil is sort of, well, let's see how to say it. It's sort of an obsessive energy. So if you've been obsessing about a situation, and you could have been, because we had the Pride card here, and it's not serving you. So if you've been in a situation that you've been thinking about a lot and it's not done you any good, then you've decided to leave it in the past. Great news. You're going to get everything that you've been hoping for. Another way of looking at it, the Devil, it's like a stick to beat yourself with, really. If you want to go back in your memory and trawl up a situation when you weren't at your best, when you're horrible to somebody, it'd be sort of dredging up old memories to beat yourself up with, not having been the best you could have been in the past. It's that sort of feeling. And combined with this sort of feeling at the start, and when I started talking about changing of mindset and leaving negative thoughts and ideas and people and situations in the past, that's what that feels like. That you've learned it doesn't work. It's not serving you anymore. It's serving no purpose. And in order to get your happy ever after, you have to sort of kill off the Devil, really. That's interesting. Now, how are you going to kill off the Devil? Well, the Sun is just the opposite energy, so it will naturally diminish. The more positive you can be, the less likely the Devil is going to be able to flourish. Interestingly, these cards fell out, and I wasn't sure I was going to take them, but I am, because they are pertaining to the Devil. So you might have been in a secret affair. You might have been having a secret affair. That's what the Devil and the Seven of Swords say. And it might have had to end because of other people. It could have been a real problem and a battle, and you might not have known how to deal with it. But it feels to me like it's gone. Like that has ended. And the reason why I think that's ended is because what's come with it is the soulmate card. This is the connection that's coming back together. If you were being kept a secret, you were in some sort of relationship or situationship or having an affair of some sorts. If that was the case and it had to be secret, then I think either you've decided to leave that and let it go, or it's come back around and it's not going to be secret anymore. And it's going to be actually a relationship that's going to give you everything you want. So it's one of two options here, depending on who you are in your situation. It seems to me that there's a connection from the past that is coming back. And it's either coming back in a good way, or it's something that's coming around for you in the future that you're not familiar with. So you've either got something coming back in a much better way, or you've got a new relationship coming in that's going to provide you with everything you want. Because at the end of the day here, we have the soulmate card and the twin flame card. We have the 10 of Cups, which is a happy ever after. We have the 10 of Pentacles, which is an even better happy ever after. And we have the Sun, which is the best card in the deck. So if there was some negative type of thinking or acting, or negative patterns are being slain at the moment for you, you're getting rid of them, and that is going to bring in, right where we started, a much, much happier energy. But only because you've recognised it. You started here trying to gain clarity, and I believe in order to be happy. But I believe that you are actually managing that, Gemini. I think you've done a really good job. And the key here is to keep the optimistic energy running. The Sun is a really optimistic card. The 4 of Pentacles is very pessimistic. And so you've got to really keep yourself on the optimistic side of life. Just keep hoping for the best and expecting the best. And you're going to come into a much, much, much happier energy much sooner than you think as well. This is happening now. We have the Wheel of Fortune and it's finally turning for you. I think it was on pause. It was stuck in a past position and it's finally going for you. Wow, what an exciting reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. If you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.